Hello everyone, part number 12. We're gonna jump on the headers avatar like I told you in the last episode. So what we need to do for that, it's when the user is logged to fetch the me query. So where we can get the information about the user. So for example, getting his avatar, first name, last name, this other stuff. So first thing what we're gonna do is we're gonna create the fake avatar for now. So we're gonna just put it there just for save with the design. So first thing we're gonna do, it's inside the component right there. Inside the component folder, we're gonna create another file called headers avatar.js. So this one's gonna be a component where we're gonna finally plug it with Redux with the information from the user coming in from the state, and we're gonna just change it when the user is logged. So the plan for that, it's when the user when it's not finished to log, we're gonna have a spinner here, and when we have the avatar back, we're gonna have the avatar from right there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with the import React component at the top, like we always do. After that, we're gonna need style component for that. After that, I'm gonna create some variable. So I'm gonna say avatar size, and I'm gonna put 30. So it's gonna have a height and a width of 30. After that, I'm gonna create another variable called avatar radius, and this one's gonna be avatar size divided by 2. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna create the avatar and we're gonna create a component. So for the component, it's gonna be pretty easy. We're gonna say header avatar right there. Why we need to have a component from React is because we're gonna need to create a function inside that for the logout function. So the avatar, how are we gonna do this? We're gonna say const avatar, it's equal to a style that image. So it's gonna be an image. Here we're gonna say a height equal to the avatar size. We're gonna say width equal to avatar size, and we're gonna say border radius equal to the avatar radius variable we create. So now we have a circle. We have a circle of 30 from the height, 30 from the width, and 15 from the border radius. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a button too, because we can click on it to show the like the action sheet here from the bottom. So we're gonna need for that to import touchable. So the library we build for getting every button stuff. And now here what we're gonna do is we're gonna say button equal style that touchable like that. So we're gonna wrap it. After that, we're gonna add some attribute and the backtip here. So as the attribute, what we're gonna do, so it need to be an object, I'm gonna say feedback to be opacity, and it slope to be top 20, button 20, right 20, and left 20. So for you, if you don't remember, the feedback is gonna be when you press, you're gonna have opacity. This is on iOS. In Android by default, because of the touchable library, we're gonna get the Android feedback, kind of material one. And for the it slope, we want to get a bigger radius than just this. Like example, 20 from here, I can click everywhere here. So this is for the big finger. So now here what we're gonna do, is we're gonna put some margin left. So we're gonna say 15. Justify contain center, and I'm gonna say align item center. So now if I build that here, I'm gonna say button, and I'm gonna say avatar like that. I'm gonna import my fake avatar coming in from the util folder constants. So you go there, you import your fake avatar for now. So that should be your Twitter image. And now I'm gonna copy paste this component name. I'm gonna jump on the navigation file. So if we go to navigation, after that on the top, I'm gonna import this component we just create finally from the component folder. So what we're gonna need to do after that is we're gonna jump on the home here inside the Stack Navigator app main nav. We're gonna say navigation option, and because I know we're gonna need that later, I'm gonna already make a function who return an object. I'm gonna say header left, and I'm gonna say my header avatar. So if everything is working, we are supposed to get an avatar right there. So you can see we have the avatar. So this is what we want. We want to be able to click here, and you see I can click a bit to the top and the left. So now that's great, we have it. So now what I want to set up too, I want to have a loading spinner when I don't have the avatar yet. And I'm gonna make it for now to make it as a default, because now we know that's gonna work. So I'm gonna import my loading component we have built in the last episode. In here, what I'm gonna say is I'm gonna say if so I'm gonna say right there const info equal false. So here I'm gonna say if no info, I'm gonna say right there return the button with the loading here, but I'm gonna put it a size of small. So now you're gonna see we're supposed to see the spinner now. Perfect. This is what we want. Another thing too, it's the spinner. I can click on the spinner. You don't see because it's I mean with the opacity, but just put disable here to make sure we cannot click on that. So now we're good for that. So now we need to receive the real avatar from the user here. And we're gonna have a good amount of stuff to do here, because we need to manage, we need to make the query for that. And yeah, so you're gonna see, because the thing is, everything about React navigation is static, so that came when before that coming. So that's why I plugged this component here with my Redux. It's because I want it to be changed. So we're gonna jump on the query. We're gonna just create the query for now. So me.js inside the query folder, and we're gonna import the GQL library from React Apollo, and we're gonna create a query. So what we need here, that's gonna be an object, and here we're gonna have me, and I'm gonna say we need the avatar, we need the username, so we're gonna get that in some time. You're gonna see why in next episode, first name and last name. So this is the query we want. That's it. If I plug that in my GraphQL app, you're gonna see it's gonna do the good query for that. And because we don't need to pass the ID of the user, because think about that, the query gonna work because the query gonna follow with the token. So now, where can I plug that? So I want to make sure my user is logged, and a good place to do this, it's my home screen. I cannot see the home screen if my user is not logged. So I think that can be a really good idea to make that here. So how we're gonna do this, we're gonna import the me query, it's uppercase because this is how I do with GraphQL queries. I'm gonna see GraphQL queries that me. And now here the thing is that, so now what I need is I need to call another query, and I need to call my Redux action. You know, here I can put the compose, and I'm gonna need that to the connect, but I need to create my action for the information for the reducer, because remember, like I just told you, we're gonna get the avatar inside the store and not inside the cache. This is not, right now we don't gonna work with the cache yet. So we're gonna make use of Redux for that. So for doing this, we're gonna just jump on the action really quick. It's gonna be really easy. Export function get user info, where we're gonna have an object of info. We're gonna return a type of get user info, and we're gonna return the info. That's it. For the reducer, so if I search for the reducer, the only thing we need to do here is gonna be case get user info. We're gonna return the old object we have, a new object with the old object property, but info is gonna be equal to the action.info. That's it, nothing more to do. So now we can jump on the home screen. We're gonna import from React Apollo compose. and we're gonna import React Redux connect. So now here, all we can do this, we're gonna compose here, like we did on the last episode, and we need to pass it right like that. So now here, what I can do is I can also do my connect. Here, I don't want to have access to map state to props. I just want to plug my action where I get my user information. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say from here, from action.user, I'm gonna say give me my get user info function, and I'm gonna pass it right here as the second argument inside a curly bracket, so I don't need to do the dispatch or that destructuring the information. Now I have the me query. So how can I create a query and get this thing and put that in Redux? We're gonna do that inside a component in mount. So by doing this, we're gonna need another thing. It's called with Apollo. It's another higher order component who finally wrap everything you have and gonna give you right access to the Apollo client you have. So you're gonna see that in a moment. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a function called get user info, who's gonna be an async one. Why it's an async? Because we call an asynchronous function in the backend. So all we're gonna do here is I'm gonna say const data equal await, and now that's gonna be the place where we make use of the with Apollo. It's this that props a client. So we get this that props a client just because we wrap with Apollo. And now here I'm gonna say query square bracket curly bracket parenthesis curly bracket, and now here you say query, and we're gonna say me that query like that. And now, because inside the me that query we get that in the me object like that, I'm gonna just say give me like that. So it's again I destructuring. But now you see I'm gonna get the user info, and now I can call this function right inside the component in mount. So I'm gonna say this that get user info. Why I call a function outside of the component in mount? It's just because I want to make it async. I know we can do this in did mount, but again, if you use flow type or something like that, you're gonna get error here, and it just I like it more to do. So now the only thing we can do finally is here I can send this that props that get user info, and I'm gonna pass it the me object. So now I'm gonna show you that with the React Native debugger. So I'm gonna refresh, and now look the screen what's gonna happen. If everything is working, now the state gonna fill with everything inside that. So now you see what happened. I get log, I get my Apollo call, and now I get my result, and now I get my user info. Why I put this user info right inside my state, and inside my state now I have access to the avatar. So now if you follow me right there, you start to see what we can do now with the headers avatar. It's now here we can just connect this one with Redux. We're gonna connect this one. I'm gonna map state to props where I want to get the info from the state.user.info. And now, yes, that's it. We're gonna do if this that props that info it's not true, like if I have no info or like it's nil, I'm gonna show the disable, and now right there I'm gonna say this that props that info that avatar. That's it. So now you're gonna see right there. So when it's gonna work, boom, that's it. And now this is the real avatar of my user when he log. Now it's hard for you maybe because it's again the same avatar as before, but trust me, this is the one we just add inside the DB when we set up the user. So this is the same URL. So now I'm gonna remove the fake avatar. I don't need that anymore. So now good. We did a good amount of stuff right now. So you see, it's pretty much easy, but I didn't want to read that from the cache. I want to make use of Redux here just to have more control with my stuff, and because I know that more. But now the only thing I need to do before the end of this part is when I click here to show the action sheet here. So the like the little pop-up coming from the bottom, and I can say log out, and I want to make sure I can log out my user. So for doing this, I'm gonna show you a package we can install. It's coming from Expo. It's React Native Action Sheet. This thing right there. So this thing, it's just an action sheet. It's a cross-platform React Native component that use the React Native UI action sheet, but it's gonna work on iOS and Android. So finally, it's like the action sheet iOS we have in React Native, but we make them work too in Android. So we don't need to care about design two things. So for installing that, just run this command. So go inside your Visual Studio Code or whatever XD you use, and now here what I can do, it's yarn add expo React Native action sheet. For getting started with that, first we're gonna just open the example folder, and you're gonna see it's really easy. We're gonna jump on the main, we're gonna just copy paste this line, or I'm gonna just show you. So what we do is we go to app.js, and I'm gonna paste this one, but I need just the first one. So we need the provider. So it's like the provider we got in Redux. So we're gonna put that inside the Apollo provider. So now we start to have a lot of provider, but now you see we wrap the action sheet provider. Because of this, now we're gonna have access to the function connect action sheet. So go inside your header avatar, and now at the top, import the connect action sheet from Expo React Native action sheet. So now we have these two things built. So now how we can wrap that is by wrapping the header avatar here like that. That's it. It's another higher order component. So now what I can do is I'm gonna create a function here where I call this open action sheet. So I'm gonna say on open action. Let me just open that. On open action sheet equal, it's a function, and I'm gonna call that on my button here. And now now what I'm gonna do, it's this action. We want to call the function give it by the connection connect action sheet, and this is show action sheet with option. That's it. And for doing this option, you're gonna see, so here it's an object. Here we can pass option, so that need to be an array. So finally, this is just, if maybe that's gonna make more sense if I show you the React Native example. So you're gonna see like you need option where it's an array of list of button title. After that, we're gonna have the cancel button index. So this is where the cancel button is gonna be the index. So if you want it to be at the top or at the bottom. After that, we're gonna have the destructive button index. So it's gonna be like if you like example for us, that's gonna be the logout. And this is what you need. And if we want the title of message, but I don't want. So what I'm gonna do, it's my two button I want. So I'm gonna create here. I'm gonna say current option with an array of title button. So here it's gonna be string. I'm gonna say logout and cancel. So I want to have these two buttons. So now I think if I put that here, I think that can work just with that. So now if I click on that, must provide valid callback. Okay, yeah, I don't have a callback, so my callback gonna be there. So this is all you do, button index. And now here we're gonna open that. So finally, this is it's pretty hard to know how that's gonna work, but inside the callback, this is where we're gonna have access finally to the index of the button you have clicked. So now you see we get logout and cancel. So now if I click, I get logout and cancel. Perfect. This is what we want. So now I'm gonna say const, because I want my logout to be red, because right now they have two colors, the same color. So now I can say const destructive button index. I'm gonna just copy paste this one. Const destructive button index. So the index is gonna be the first one. So because it's an array, it's 0. So I'm gonna pass here right there. So I'm gonna save. So now my logout is gonna be in red. You see, it's in red. After that, I'm gonna say Yeah, just like this. And now here, we're gonna have access to the button index. So just for showing you, when you click on the button, I'm gonna say button index, and I'm gonna say button index here. So inside the React Native Developer now, we're gonna get the index of the button we click. So now if I click, and I click on the first one, I get the 0. But if I click on the second one, now that's gonna be the first one, because remember it's an array. So now what we can do, is we can see right there, if button index equal 0, now we can do an action right there. So this is what we need to do. So my action, finally what I want, I want to log out the user. So we're gonna create a function in that for Redux. Like this, log out inside my action. After that, just go inside your reducer. And the logout is gonna be the most easy action you're never gonna write in Redux. You just say return initial state. That's it. So now we get the logout working, and now what we're gonna do, we need to pass this action inside the header's avatar. So this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna import the logout action from action/user, and now I'm gonna pass this action right inside my state here. So I'm gonna just run that, and you see state, your first thing here is your map state to props. So now here I'm gonna do my curly bracket logout where I can get my dispatch, and now right there I want to return this .props logout. That's it. So if I click the logout, I want to log on my user. Now we're gonna see. Now I click my face, logout, boom, that worked. So we did the logout. But now the thing is, what Apollo client say, it's if you do a logout, so if you do to authentication reset store on logout, they ask you, because they cache everything, when you log out, you need to call the function client reset store to reset everything. Because if I log again back, I'm going to add all the other queries. So by doing this, we're going to make use again of the with Apollo. From React Apollo. And now all you do this, you just wrap this one, you wrap, and now make sure you wrap to the bottom like that. Just save and see if something crash. If that's gonna crash right there. And that don't crash, perfect. So now what we're gonna do finally is just here, when you click on that, we're gonna say reset store. I think that was the function, reset store, yeah. But inside client, like that. So now that we know that's gonna work, but now you maybe ask, okay, well, yes, you just log out, but why you still go log? If I told you async storage, yeah, this is async storage. We just need finally to just build a last little thing inside the action when we log out, and this is remove the item where when we do the logout, so the token. Because right now, if I click logout, perfect, everything go back. But if I refresh, my user still log out, because remember, we did the logout, we just check if the token and we call to the backend. So all we can do this, is go back inside your action, go to the top, import from React Native async storage, and now we're gonna transform logout as an async function, so we can have access to the dispatch from Redux Tongue. I'm gonna remove that for now, and now here we're gonna put a try catch. If I have an error, I'm gonna throw the error. So now here what I'm gonna do, is finally I'm gonna await my async storage that remove item with the name of the token we put in the last episode. So this is Twitter YouTube clone. That's it. And now when it's done, oops. When this is done, I'm gonna do the dispatch call, and I'm gonna call my type logout. And now, time to see if that's gonna work. So the app work here. You click on the logout. You click logout. Perfect. We are logged. Go. And now if I refresh my screen, I still log out. That's it. That was it. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Next one, now we're gonna start to make use of the function of I like a tweet and I can dislike a tweet. So this is what we're gonna do. On the next one, it's gonna be pretty simple, but we're gonna learn a lot. So I hope you enjoy. Please click the like button and share if you think that can be helpful for someone else. And have a good day. Bye.